to getting sprung. We used to dance.
All right, you guys, we are back. We are back. We are back. How you feeling, Arch?
I am feeling good. I was just looking at living your truth, and your life starts with reality. I may have said that a little backwards, but I always wanted this to be a part of my truth. Well, it's Tuesday, October 29th, 1:30 p.m., a cloudy day in Connecticut. And we have in the studio today, Chantel Long from Orlando, Florida. Chantel, how are you doing on today? I wanted to do
And
that.
I was finna flow with it. I'm great. Thank you for asking. We have a beautiful day here in sunny Orlando, Florida. Feeling great, feeling fantastic. It is another terrific, thriving, trusting God Tuesday. And I'm glad to be here. I am with KGM and we are living our truth. And how do you live your truth? Through your reality. Are you in reality?
That's it, through our reality. Thank you. Listen, so what's been going on? Did you get a chance to catch the news about the old nasty man? I'm sorry, about the old man from Avery Crunch. And first of all, I probably would never wear any type of clothes that I can't even pronounce. But the old CEO from Avery Crunch and French Fitch.
Abercrombie and Fitch. I think it's Fitch.
Okay, so you got a little suburban in you. I see it. I see it. You got a little suburban, little soccer mom in you.
I did a little dibble dabble in there, Hey, I went in the store, kind of peeked in.
Right.
They stuff didn't really fit me well, but
you see what's going on with them.
Yeah, I seen that. I kind of, I stay out of media. I don't know how I end up in media, but kind of stay out the media. But as I was, scrolling through, I definitely seen that he got in trouble for the same thing your homeboy got in trouble for. I don't know if it's necessarily your homeboy, but just threw that out.
Well,
there.
Listen, you know how I am about the judicial system. I'm not going to disown them because you're not guilty until proven guilty. So, and although he is not my homeboy, but I do, and I have heard, and they have said that there are pictures of you at white parties with your homeboy. So, especially so. But yes, he was doing some of the same stuff that Diddy was doing. Allegedly, we got to say that because we don't want to get the network in trouble. KGM, allegedly, he was doing the same things that Diddy was doing. But, one of the things that is very interesting, Chantel, is that, and this is not allegedly, this is truth. Mm-hmm. He got picked up doing the same stuff Diddy was doing, but he got bail and Diddy got denied bail. That says a lot right there. And I hate to play, the white card, the black card, the race card. And I also hate to play the, well, he's 80 and Diddy's only 54. Mm-hmm. I mean, crime is crime. That's like somebody doing the same exact thing, but because again, one is older and one is younger, we say, well, the older person, he's too old to do it again, but again, where's the fairness at in all that Diddy is still sitting in Brooklyn, fighting, trying to get bail. And of course, the legal system say that you are innocent until proven guilty. Mm-hmm. But yet again, right when the Caucasian brother gets picked up, he gets a $10 million bail.
Right. So now my stake. I'm not for either one of them. Mm-hmm. I definitely am not for any of the abuse and the essay that they call it. But I definitely feel like if you're gonna throw the book at both of them. Make it mm-hmm. fair. If we say we're of the United States of America and we have a justice system, let's follow the justice system no matter who's in office or no matter who's on either side. And mm-hmm. so I definitely feel like you're gonna throw the book. You got to throw the book at both of them. And I've told my children that before. My daughter wanted something, but I had already told my son no, and she made it make it sound a little better. But I'm like, hey, I already told him no, so no is no. So we're gonna run with no. So I definitely feel like you just got to follow pursuit with the decision you've made. So if they made a decision on him, but my stake on that, they definitely I'm gonna say Diddy time was up. Diddy time was done with. Like the role he played, the role he served for them. You know, we back at them and they that he served for them. His time was up. So now it was time to deal with what he had to deal with. And when you got to deal with that, they're not letting you off.
I forgot you believe in the conspiracies of
I believe in the them and the they. You know, the they in the backfield doing some stuff.
Yeah, the people behind the closed doors. It is definitely interesting. It's a very interesting time, even if we look at it from a spiritual vantage point. And I won't stay there long, but of course we are preachers. You know, one could look at it is some levels of exposure that's coming out in that world of, you know, entertainment, in that world of fashion, you know, just in that whole world, because that's a whole world to itself. And it's, you know, it's very unfortunate. One thing that I say to our crowd, I see you must have paid for support today.
Oh, thank you. I got support. Thank you, Tanya. I got support. Angie ain't support.
But wait, she did say love you both. So okay, I feel a little better. Angie, where you at? Hello, knock knock. Angie, are you there today? I need some support. I'm feeling out here by myself.
Thank you, Tanya. Thank you.
You know, again, that you know, that's a world to itself, and it's just I was making some point before you got your paid support that came in. But again, yeah, I forgot the point that I was making. It was getting ready to be
that's your real friend. See, real friend, you supposed to distract people. And she did her job. I just told her she the best supporter ever. She's amazing. Thank you, Tanya.
But I do think that there's
the Christian standpoint behind it in the times that we're living in now.
Yeah, again, I think it's some level of exposure that is coming out, and I just think we got to sit back and we got to see who you getting all the support today. Is there anybody here on Facebook? Let me let y'all in on a little secret. Facebook wasn't even going to be allowed in on today unless I was the nice person that said let's go live. But okay. That's what I was going to say. And Tanya's on, and Tanya, thank you again. She did such a wonderful job when you invited her for the Millionaire Circle. But I was actually going to say that because we always look to empower people. It's crazy, Chantel, that the more powerful you are, the more you have to protect yourself. Because, and I was having this conversation with another person of wealth and substance. You know, first of all, I have a problem with everybody coming out saying what P. Diddy did to them. But all right, Angela here. All right, I got some backup. But you know, the more powerful you are, the more people, the more vulnerable you become to people filing lawsuits and attacking you and trying to get money from you. And so a lot of times people want, you know, they want to be in the limelight, but they don't understand what comes with the limelight. Because now you got people who are saying, well, I was at the white party and he walked past me and touched me wrong. And that's a lawsuit right there. You know, I'm not talking about the, you know, the bad things, but you literally got people that are just, I'm shell shocked. You know, I'm traumatized. And I'm just like, you know, it teaches us the more assets we have, the more power we have, the more influence we have, the more we have to protect our name, our legacy. We have to protect ourselves, and even our circle gets even smaller. Because again, you never know who's coming at us to try to get something from us. And yep, Tanya says it, more money, more problems. And matter of fact, Diddy said it in '97 when he dropped that song. He said it, more money, more problems. And so, and again, I thought about that the other day. It made me almost be like, no new friends, because again, you become so vulnerable to people who you don't even know what their motives are. Yeah. And I think that's something else too that we have to look at. Now, again, if someone say, Archbishop, are you saying Diddy did not do any of that stuff? Well, legally, I don't know. Let him get his day in court. But what I am saying is I don't believe all of that stuff. I don't believe over 500 lawsuits that don't came out. Some of it is a bag grab, trying to grab a bag from them. Because my thing is, why haven't you said nothing up until now? Yeah. And so that was it. I just wanted to I wanted to keep you updated because I know you be in your prayer cloud and prayer closet. Wait. Angela says, why did they wait so long to bring up? That's my thought, Angela.
Yeah.
What took them so long to say something? So then that's when it begins to get a little bit fishy, or a little bit. I begin to, have second doubts about it. Again, victims are victims, and I would never shame a victim. But what I will say is that it's a thin line between what is a victim and what is a person who participated in something, and then afterwards says, my participation didn't get me paid the way that I should have got paid.
Right.
So you got any thoughts on that?
No, I'm with you. I definitely, just going back and piggybacking off of what you guys said, you and Tanya said about more money, more problems. I think I said that earlier today, on my broadcast, about just being equipped, having, as a business person, you have to have insurance, you have to have liability insurance, you have to already have attorneys lined up just in case. Like, that's sad, but it's the truth. You have to have that just in case. Just how you have car insurance, just in case. You have to have that team of people just in case something happens. So I mean, it's the life we have chosen to walk in. So do I feel like Diddy has done everything? I feel like he's done some wrong, but I feel like he was that person that they put as the face of everything, but it was some people behind him definitely moving the reins around and having a lot more to do with it. Who was it? Is it Clyde Davis?
Wait. Before you get KGM sued for millions.
Oh, I can't say his name.
You're in the vein. I was just going to say that predators, they adopt behaviors, and so yes, allegedly.
Well, I was gonna say allegedly he no, I wasn't even gonna say he did anything. I was gonna say he said he don't even know him. Like, I wasn't even going to that part.
Right.
They asked him, they said something about P. Diddy, and he said, who?
What Chantel, you do know he is like 190 now, like 200 years old.
You know who that man is. I don't care.
I know. I'm saying, but you do know.
Yeah, I get
is like really young. But no, yeah, I was you in the van. I was going to say allegedly. Allegedly he said that they taught Diddy that behavior. So absolutely.
I'm still laughing. Did y'all see how he scared me? I'm like, wait a minute, what I say?
No, I just wanted to make sure that we don't get KGM sued.
Right.
So allegedly, that Clyde Davis, he, again, and predators, they just don't become predators. It's usually a taught behavior. R. Kelly, he's been found guilty. Bill Cosby, allegedly, again, because that was overturned. Again, all that type of behavior is passed down. And something I was going to say, and then we can go into our subject on today. You all need to like, share, and tag, and make sure that you go over and subscribe to the channel, because this is one of the last times that we're going to be via Facebook Live. Even in ministry, and some of you, I've spoken with you about as you're pursuing your walk and your path in ministry and what God is doing in your life. Even in ministry, preachers have to be careful. We talked about people, people could sue Diddy, and people could have a frivolous lawsuits. I was always taught in ministry that, you don't go into closed rooms with women. You don't go and, close doors to your office when you're counseling another woman or something like that, because that woman can get up and say, he tried to talk to me, or he touched me, or he did X, Y, and Z. And so it's just like the more, and I know you're putting together, let me just throw in a shameless plug. I know you're putting together something that's going to be so phenomenal for us in Fort Lauderdale for the Millionaire Circle, but you have to protect your assets. And sometimes protecting your assets is protecting your influence and your name. Yeah. And it's unfortunate that, again, I see now why sometimes people are so, they're so closed off. But again, in that world that Diddy was in, they threw parties, they had parties, and he just opened himself up for somebody to come back. And again, my wife and I, we have seen some crazy stuff as we've been following it. Women that just say that he walked past me and he touched me, and I haven't been right since. Right. Okay, really. Right. Really, but again, you have to protect your assets, you have to protect everything, your name. And I think it's a lesson that's learned within this, even outside of the criminality acts that they're being accused of. For people who want that certain celebrity or who want wealth like that, you got to protect your name.
It's so funny you say that, because it's almost like you have to have another thought process before you do anything, especially as a man. But even as a woman, I begin to think through certain situations and certain scenarios, and how I used to, help or give somebody a ride. Like now I gotta literally think that through now. It's sad, but it's like I have to think even those situations through now in the realm that I'm in. But even to go into what you're saying, and then like you said, we'll jump to the next topic. But somebody had told me, I don't know if you guys have watched Baby Reindeer. I don't even watch TV, but I had some time over the weekend, and I didn't necessarily, I wish I didn't even start it, but sometimes when I start something I want to finish. But it's a show, and it's a true story, and I forgot the guy's name that quick, but he was showing how you become a victim. And it made me think about what you're talking about, the PD situation, because we still want to have respect for people that are truly victims. We have some that just play the game. Y'all know, anywhere they can find money, they're going to jump on a wagon. And then you have some people that are really, truly a victim. But the great perspective that I like that he was speaking on was he kind of was in that, as we're talking about reality and being authentic, he was able to say what part of me that played a part in it. He was like, after, because the guy, I think he wanted to be a writer or a comedian. And so there was a guy, a famous writer, had money that was able to kind of give him access through the door. But what he was saying is, he was like, I don't know if I had, issues with my sexuality at first. He said, I don't know where it started, but he had a girlfriend at the time. He had never been any aspect, but because he wanted the opportunity, he kept going over there. And then eventually the man had, drugged him. But he was saying in his mind, when was it that I played a part? When was it that I knew that I was going over here, but because it was money and I was going to have an opportunity to do all the promises he gave me, when was it now I was no longer a victim, but I was walking into this situation, like, he, like, after the fifth time, like, he was like, I got to sit there and think about me. And so he was showing all the negative things that was happening to him. But he was saying that I began to get comfortable with those negative things. I began to want it because it became comfortable, it became a norm. And so he had a lady that was like stalking him, but he ended up getting used to it. Even though he was like, she's destroying my life, he was like, she was giving me attention. This same negative attention was still attention. And I always tell people, and I hate to compare it in the community, but we say with kids don't care if it's bad attention or good attention. They just want attention. So when does that begin to play a part as an adult? As an adult, it's still the same thing, whether it's good attention or bad attention. So sometimes we say women are promiscuous, but they want the attention. So when does it become, I'm a victim, and when does it become, I just wanted the attention?
So let's make sure we help short clip this part, because that is wow what you said. So, and my add to that will be, when do I help myself become a victim? When do I help myself become a victim? When do I help myself? Because what you just said, that was powerful. When do I, and again, and we will, but it won't be on Facebook. You all gonna have to go to the YouTube channel at Kingdom Global Media 07. We will have some psychologists come on. We will have people who have dealt with trauma come on, because again, I know that goes both ways. They say that sometimes victims become what is it, victim remorse or something like that. Victims sometimes they keep going back to their abuser,
a product of their environment. Is that what it is? Like they become that environment that.
Well, yeah. Well, they say that they start going back and they start feeling bad for the person that's abusing them.
Yeah, that's yep.
We'll see. We'll have somebody break that down. I can't see that. If somebody does something to me that I don't like, and it makes me feel a certain type of way, again, and I know I'm being hard, and I know, people gonna come for me. They always come for me. It's all right. I'm a big boy, I promise you. But again, it's like, when did you start helping yourself become a victim? What did you stay silent? So hypothetically, the people in Diddy situation, if he did do everything y'all accused him of, did you stay silent so long because he was paying your rent? And so now I got a problem with that. So now you help as you bought that revelation, you helped yourself become a victim because he's paying your rent. Yeah. You helped yourself become a victim because he's helping put your kids through school. The first time, I get it. The second time, kind of. But now you start talking about third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th time, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Oh, I was just entrapped. But what's the other side of that? What were you getting in exchange for you helping yourself be a victim? And so now that the wells have dried up, Angela says, I got your back, Bishop. Thank you. Now that the wells have dried up, or Diddy focus has went somewhere else, allegedly, now all of a sudden you upset and you mad and you frustrated. And again, you doing what you're doing now. I just, I can't, and I'd be so glad when me and you do get a licensed therapist and psychologist, because we're going to ask them the question. And not only will we ask the question, but even myself in somewhat of honesty. And I was having this conversation with somebody the other day. I've been in predicaments where people have tried to proposition me and where individuals have tried to take advantage. But again, I'm not, be it I'm the strong man that I am, or not even calling myself, I just knew right from wrong. Right. I'm just like, nah, this ain't right. Nah, this ain't going down right here. This right here ain't, this is not where this ain't where this is gonna go. And so I knew to kind of dismiss myself from that situation. So I'm just like, and then again, I get it. And whoever we bring on, if it's a man therapist or psychologist, I ask them. If it's a woman, I'll let you ask her, because I don't want to be seen, a certain type of light. But, I know they always say, well, that plays into sometimes people's childhood, or that plays into their insecurities, why they let themselves become victims. Again, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. And our purpose of one of you and I main purposes is to help people get healed, reconciled, blessed, and to deal with their reality. Again, my reality is my dad rejected me. He didn't want my name. He didn't want his name on my birth certificate. Right. So I'm sure there was an inch of somewhat of rejection somewhere in me, but I'm not going to go couch casting and giving myself to a whole bunch of people, because I dealt with that thing, and so I think that we cannot blame what we have went through, though it might be reason, but we cannot allow that even to excuse our behavior. Because at the end of the day, me being a Black man, and I can tell you this, if I would have sold drugs, which I did, but if I would have sold drugs and end up killing someone, again, the judge would have took it in consideration all day long. Well, you didn't have a Black father, but I couldn't use that as an excuse. Well, I killed this person because of rejection. I just think that we need to pinpoint things and deal with those things, and not try to allow that behavior to get us into a place where we help ourselves become an even greater victim of something.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, no, that's so true. And so, but now, do you feel like, just asking a question, but do you feel like leadership, because we're going to maneuver over to leadership and all that great stuff and how leadership plays a role, but do you feel like as a leader, and I'm talking about at this point, a characteristic, not just your title, but one of your characteristics, I feel like some people are born leaders, some people are taught to be leaders, but do you believe because of you that you're able, because some people may not be able to, like you said, I just knew it was wrong, so I'm gonna say no. But because of a leader, some people just can't, say that no. Like,
yeah, sure. I think people can be taken.
No, you don't have. Exactly. No, okay, that's cool.
I think a person can be pressured. I think a person can be. I think that will be the different discussion. Do the person know that it's wrong, or are they being pressured? Can a person be pressured into something? Yes. I told my wife the other day, I only smoked weed one time. Sophomore year, high school, I was in a little Geo tractor with 3 guys, and they lit up a blunt and they passed it to me. I smoked it. I probably inhaled it wrong because I started choking. I couldn't breathe. They pulled over the truck, got me out the truck, put me on the side of the road. They was like, dude, are you good? And I never smoked weed again. Now, when I got home that night, I had, what do they call it? A contact high, because it was so much weed that they were smoking in the truck. But again, that was some pressure, I'm like, okay, they passed the blunt. and they passed it to me, and I hit it again. I might have hit it wrong, but from that time, I never smoked another thing ever. That was the one time and the last time that I ever smoked a blunt. So, okay, yeah, we could say I was pressured a little bit, but I still knew it was wrong. I knew when I walked in my mother's house that my eyes were bloodshot red, that she knew, she sent me to my room. She said, you ain't right. Go to your room.
Right.
So, yeah, I was pressured, but I still knew it was wrong. And so at some point, people who do wrong got to know that it's wrong.
Okay, that's cool. I'm with you. I'm with you when you're right. No, I'm joking. But Angela says she with you all the time. She with you all the time.
I appreciate you, Angela. I appreciate you. Where are we at today? What are we talking about? What else are we talking about? Because we did have that on the agenda, the P. Diddy and R. Kelly and Bill Cosby, and the political climate.
Yeah, so we're maneuvering over. We're maneuvering over to what's behind the Republican Party. What does it really mean? Where it came from? Of course, we'll talk about the Democrats. Where did it come from as well? But we're still talking about the celebrities and the leaderships. And the reason why I asked you as a leader, are you pressured? Are you persuaded? Because one of our questions, and we'll watch a video and go from there, but does celebrities make you maneuver on your decision? So, we have tons of questions. I don't know which video. Do you want us to play the video first about the Democratic Party?
Let's play the Smart Black Man video.
Let's play that.
Yes.
Recently, I made what many are referring to as a bold decision to switch my party affiliation to the Republican Party. I wanted to take a moment to explain why I chose to become a Republican, and also to explain why I don't think it was a bold decision at all. It is the right decision, not only for me, but for all my brothers and sisters in the black community. You see, in recent history, the Democrat Party has created the illusion that their agenda and their policies are what's best for black people. Somehow it's been forgotten that the Republican Party was founded in 1854 as an abolitionist movement with one simple creed, that slavery is a violation of the rights of man. Frederick Douglass called Republicans the party of freedom and progress, and the first Republican president was Abraham Lincoln, the author of the Emancipation Proclamation. It was Republicans in Congress who authored the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, giving former slaves citizenship, voting rights, and due process of law. The Democrats, on the other hand, were the party of Jim Crow. It was Democrats who defended the rights of slave owners. It was the Republican President Dwight Eisenhower who championed the Civil Rights Act of 1957. But it was the Democrats in the Senate who filibustered the bill. You see, at the heart of liberalism is the idea that only a great and powerful big government can be the benefactor of social justice for all Americans. But the left is only concerned with one thing: control. And they disguise this control as charity. Programs such as welfare, food stamps, these programs aren't designed to lift black Americans out of poverty. They were always intended as a mechanism for politicians to control the black community. The idea that blacks, or anyone for that matter, need the government to get ahead in life is despicable. And even more important, this idea is a failure. Our communities are just as poor as they have always been. Our schools continue to fail children. Our prisons are filled with young black men who should be at home, being fathers. Our self-initiative and our self-reliance have been sacrificed in exchange for allegiance to our overseers, who control us by making us dependent on them. Sometimes I wonder if the word freedom is tossed around so frequently in our society that it has become a cliche. The idea of freedom is complex and it's all-encompassing. It's the idea that the economy must remain free of government persuasion. It's the idea that the press must operate without government intrusion. And it's the idea that the emails and phone records of Americans should remain free from government search and seizure. It's the idea that parents must be the decision makers in regards to their children's education, not some government bureaucrat. But most importantly, it is the idea that the individual must be free to pursue his or her own happiness, free from government dependence and free from government control. Because to be truly free is to be reliant on no one other than the author of our destiny. These are the ideas at the core of the Republican Party, and it is why I am a Republican. So my brothers and sisters of the American community, please join with me today in abandoning the government plantation and the party of disappointment, so that we may all echo the words of one Republican leader who famously said, "Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last."
Wow. Woo. Jeez. Woo. Ooh, that's bless my life. Jeez. Okay. All right. All right. We here. We're back. All right. We got a little.
That was deep. That was deep. That was good. That was good.
I felt all that in.
That was deep.
And I think it'll be a good time just to make sure that we tell everyone that next week we will be having a live election party on election night. We will be live dealing with the election and dealing with the consequences of either or party winning, and we're having some guest prophets and individuals who will be coming in and being a part of that. So we're looking forward to that as well.
Yes, that's going to be great. It reminds me how we sat and did the panel discussion a few months back, and we all talked about politics too, politics and religion and politics and all that great stuff. So, yes, Angela, that video was deep. Yes, Barbara. I see you, Barbara Wilson. It was great. I really definitely enjoyed that video. So, Archie, you give us your answer.
Angela already knew. Angela says that was deep. Thank you, Angela.
Right, she gonna put your name in there. She go, Lord Jesus.
Yes. So one of our next topics of conversation that I think is very relevant and again very good. Does celebrities swing our votes either way, Democrat, Republican, blue, or red, or should it? And I think we were talking about that backstage.
Yes, we definitely were. I think it was for the Elon Musk video we're going to post. But me personally, it does not sway how I feel. I think, and I'm gonna touch on this video first. I really feel like this video was deep, and definitely said a lot of truth in it. Because you have to sit there and think about it. The jails are still full. That was like such a great point that they said, and it made me think about when he talked about freedom. He said people kind of like throw the freedom word around loosely. So as you throw that freedom word around loosely, it made me think about that picture. And that picture where, I don't know if you guys have seen it before, but there's a horse and he's tied to a plastic chair. It's almost like they make you think, you're free, but the horse is really free, but because so many, strongholds, and because he's been tied to, something for so long, he still is not really free. Even though he can move from that plastic chair, he doesn't. And that's what it makes me think about here. Like when someone has you under control, even though you can move, you don't necessarily move because you've been under so much control. Like when I'm talking to people and I'm like, just live, just be free, just be free. But because somebody has programmed them to move in a certain way, or needing food stamps, or needing program assistance, it's like they end up, even though they can move from it, they stay there. So his point was so great about freedom. Like, are you really free? Even though they say you're free, you're still standing here waiting for this person that has manipulated you to make you feel like you need a handout. So you're still sitting there, and yes, and you're not really free. And so I always give this, I think Rose just said that you're not really free, but it's so important because, and I'll put my childcare as an example, to receive a certain program, we have to teach our kids a certain way. And the majority of the children that are receiving one of these programs are, minorities. I'm gonna say it may be African Americans, it may be, Hispanic culture, but you can only teach to a certain degree. And so I literally, so you get the money, so centers get the money to only teach to this certain level. And so I've always rejected it, even about the money, because I want to teach our children. So I've had to do private school, and I've even had to tell some of the parents, okay, we'll discount you for the private school because they can take them to free public school or free, but you can only teach them this much. And so the parents are starting to somewhat learn. They kind of like, well, let me go where it's free. But then they thought about it like, but they're only teaching our kids. They're letting them run around and play. And so if you go in those classes, because the big schools offer it, but if you go in the classes, the place that is free, so it's not really free because your children are going to pay at the end when they don't know much when it's time to go to school. But the children that's receiving this free benefit, they're actually not learning anything. It's about play. And then when you look in that class, it's majority minorities in that class. And then when you look at the same school that have the private school, they actually have majority high level people, Caucasians or people that is wealthy or, celebrities. They'll have them in the other classroom. So again, you've been in prison without being in prison because you're free to put them in there, but it comes with a cost. So I look at it like what he was saying is, are you really free? They throw this word free around, but are you really free? Because you're sacrificing the benefit of your child learning more to be in this free place. Or for me, I'm losing because they're like, we'll just give you the money. But instead, I'm like, no, we'll keep it private and we'll just receive the private funds because you're not going to tell me I can't teach my kids. So, there's still a cost. So I definitely love the perspective about freedom. And are you really free? Someone is telling you you're for me, but are you really for me, or are you keeping me in bondage?
Absolutely. I would love to get the statistics on, and again, I get help, and I think we have talked about it before. When I was growing up, my mother received government assistance, but then it was a time she came, she said, I'm not receiving this anymore. I'm moving you guys out of the projects. I'm going to do this. And I'm going to, she went back to school, got her degree. What is the statistics of people who are on Section 8 or government subsidized housing, and how long do they stay on it? Because, I've known some people who have been, and this is where lies that problem of freedom. Are you really free? Section 8 and government subsidizing, that was never created for you to die on it. So I get it if somebody is on it and they need it, but now you own it, your kids don't got grown, they own it. This becomes now a generational thing, a generational problem, and you're not free. And so, it's like, where do we cut off? Where do we cut it off? And so, matter of fact, I tell you, maybe this is my Republican side of my brain, Chantel. One of the things I've always been adamant about, back in the days. Nowadays, people do really get wherever they want to go. But when people say, Bishop, we need a church van, I'm like, yeah, that's cute. Your church is on the van, and But then, something came to me one day. I says, well, if we get a church van, listen, unless it's a senior citizen, they can only ride that church van for a certain amount of time. And everybody's like, wow. I'm like, right. Because why am I picking up a 30-year-old man who has the propensity to go and get his own driver's license, to go get a job, and 9 times out of 10, if he was going to go and fornicate or go to the club, he would find his way to the. But all right, since they need a ride to church, and church is a good place, they got a year to ride the church van. Anybody under 55 and don't have a reason, then it's a cutoff, and that cutoff is a year. Because we, of course, the name of our church, Empowerment Church, we should be empowering people that they're able to get and do it on their own. And, so I would love to see, and everything is Googleable these days. I would love to see the statistics of how long does a person who's on Section 8 usually stay on Section 8? Because again, Section 8 was not created for people to die on. The subsidized, if someone needs help, fine, help them. But there has to be a cutoff time where they're cut off. And I say this one last thing, and we're moving even in the direction of conversation, which is a great conversation. I counsel people during the pandemic, Chantel, which is sad to say, that were like, oh my goodness, my unemployment is running out. And I'm like, well, you should want to go back to work. Or, oh my goodness, I heard ain't no more. These are people I counsel. There's no more. I heard there's no more stimulus checks coming. And I'm like, what, and we all heard it. And I'm black, so I can talk about the black community because that's a whole big thing. Don't nobody want nobody talking about the black community if they ain't black. It is proven, Chantel, from people who worked at Walmart. Walmart told my wife and I, because during the pandemic, you know, everything was shut down. So my wife and I, we used to just go walk around Walmart and hold hands and stuff. It was nothing to do. Everything was shut down. But the employees would tell us, we have sold so many flat screen TVs to black folk.
Oh yeah,
for stimulus checks.
Yeah,
that's sad. Now, being if white people was doing it too, so but they said we have sold out of TVs because folk were coming in here with their stimulus checks and buying TVs. And I'm just like, that's not what stimulus checks were for.
Yeah. Well, they kind of were for that. They was to stimulate the community, and they knew that if they put the money in our hands, we was gonna stimulate.
Yeah, but again, how many folk opened up bank accounts and invested, and you know, but decide, because at the end of the day, and I tell people this, and I know you're gonna, again, I keep throwing in these shameless plugs for y'all to get to Fort Lauderdale. All of that stimulus money was really fake money. That wasn't real money, because it was not money that individuals were continuing to make. So that's why, you know, those who blew it on Jordans and blew it on shopping and blew it on trips and all that, and now they're back to what we call our podcast. They're back to reality now that those stimulus checks are not being pushed or pumped in through the economy. They like, okay, well, what do I do now? And that becomes the problem with government, that when big government begins to expand and have too much to say, then that becomes the problem.
Right. And that's a good point right here. What Prophetess Michelle is putting on here, start a business and invest. It's more than that. You know, like it's so people think, you know, first I'm gonna say a business is not for everyone. And like you said, we're gonna talk about this at the Millionaire Circle, but everybody like start a business and invest. But some people did start a business, but they were able to see how hard it is to run a business. Do you know the topping rate is, if your business has not been withstanding for 7 years, it still is like you're not really a business. Like you can fail within the first 7 years. You know, kind of like when they say with marriage. You know, I think it's like the first 7 years of marriage, like that's when it's the hardest. And they say the same thing with the business. Like you can't, we can't just say I'm gonna start a business and invest without learning financial literacy, without learning the concepts, without doing a mindset shift. You know, your mind has to shift. And so sometimes, even for me, it's not about clocking in. Like I tell everybody, it was easier for me when I worked for someone that I clocked in and clocked out and I was done. You know, I clocked in at 8, at 5, whatever time I got off, I clocked out, I was done. I didn't think about it after the day. I didn't think about it over the weekend. When you start a business, that it's a whole mindset, because your mind never stops running about your business. So people have to realize that there's a shift that has to take place. And so thank you, Prophetess Michelle, about starting a business and investing, but it's starting learning the education and what it takes. So if they were going to stimulate the economy, they should have, you know, of course, and they can push education, but they have to, of course, we have to do it as well. We have to educate ourselves about business, about financial literacy, about, you know, think rich and grow rich, you know, you reading all those books, getting into literacy and reading and listening to audibles, because it takes a lot to keep it moving. And yes, it's a process. And some people started a business, the process just didn't keep rolling. So yes, thank you. That was a great point.
And let me say this. I see you, Angela.
Girl, ain't nobody playing with you today. She said she at my school on assignment, and
and I guess that leads us to our next video, because we're talking about the whole celebrity thing and the swinging of a vote. We ready for the next one? I think it was the Joe Rogan video.
Yes, and yeah, Angela, get don't be on my clock on the live all day. Yes, we could roll that next video.
The former president facing backlash today, too, after last night's rally in New York City, where a comedian made a number of racist comments, one in particular about Puerto Rico. The campaign saying that the comments do not reflect Mr. Trump's views. Many Puerto Ricans and lawmakers from both sides of the aisle are blasting those comments today. ABC's Rena Roy brings us this.
Growing outrage around the country after racist and inflammatory remarks at a rally for former President Trump in New York City. Comedian Tony Hinchcliffe taking the stage and taking aim at Puerto Rico, a U.S. territory.
I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah, I think it's called Puerto Rico.
Trump's press secretary addressing his comment today on Fox News.
It was a comedian who made a joke in poor taste. Obviously, that joke does not reflect the views of President Trump or our campaign.
Leaders from both sides of the aisle slamming Hinchcliffe, including New York Congresswoman Nydia Velázquez, who was the first Puerto Rican woman elected to the House back in 1992.
It's a slap in the face to every Puerto Rican in New York and the 5 million Puerto Ricans in the mainland.
And we're back.
And we're back. Arch, I think I played the wrong one, but we can still touch topic on this one, and then we'll go to the other one that we had.
Well, I don't think they got a chance to hear what he said. They just seen the outrage of what the people were saying.
Oh, okay. It didn't take long enough.
But it's all right though. So it was basically the bad joke that was told. Well, he told a whole bunch of bad jokes at Madison Square Garden. That's where we were going to end off, and we were going to just deal with, was it appropriate or inappropriate? And I say that comedians, I always feel like comedians have freedom of speech, but I do think it's a matter of a biblical scripture that all things are lawful but not expedient. He probably shouldn't have said it.
But does that go back to one of our first conversations when I said, with Trump, the people get a little fancy. They get to saying whatever they want to say,
Right.
They get a little fancy with their terms now. They get to feeling themselves.
Again, I think it was definitely an offensive joke. But again, comedians, they should be able to tell offensive jokes.
No, I think you proved my point from the last conversation we had.
Well, because someone said to me, well, if it was a Puerto Rican comedian that said it, it would have been all right, which is true. That's that old saying that nobody can call us an N-word but a black comedian. Because somebody said that. Somebody says, well, if it was a Puerto Rican up there on that stage, not a Caucasian man that made a joke about Puerto Rico, I guarantee you it wouldn't have been an outrage. Because the same thing happened at Kamala Harris. They say a Mexican man made a joke about Mexicans stealing something, and everybody laughed about it. So I think, again, it can be a matter of being tone deaf of who said it. And so
he shouldn't have said it, because if he would have called us trash, we would have been looking at him crazy.
Right. Well, again, I did tell you he did the watermelon joke where he said, look at the guy with the hat on. Me and him was eating watermelon last night. And it was a black guy. He had said that too. So again, he's a comedian. I think it was in poor taste because I think it was in poor taste because I don't know why it was in poor taste. I think it was in poor taste because, again, the climate we're in right now. Okay.
So I'm just he's gonna say he supported my he's not gonna say it, but he's gonna say it that he supported what I said about Trump. They get to getting fancy, but all right.
So where we at? We ready for the
next video? Yeah, we're almost done. Before we end, we want to just kind of we got one more topic, so y'all stay with us. I know some people got to go back to work. It's most definitely fine, but we're gonna go ahead and play this one last video real quick. It's just 60 seconds.
Oh, I love that video right there.
All right, having a little technical difficulties.
All right, well, let's jump right in it because we can do this. We true to this and not new to this. All right, so our question is, does people, again, who are celebrities, does it sway our votes? We were going to play the video about Elon Musk, and Trump talked about him and Elon Musk's relationship. And we were talking about the whole Beyonce piece over the course of the weekend. Last week, Friday, Samuel L. Jackson, Spike Lee, Tyler Perry, they all showed up at the Kamala Harris rally there in Houston, Texas. And whether being Republican or Democrat, that don't matter, just going straight down the middle. I don't think a celebrity should ever sway people votes.
True. I mean, I'm definitely for you, but politics definitely love to get with a celebrity to help move the crowd. So, but do you feel like a lot of people, because they're using them for a reason? So, do you feel like they're bought off, they're paid, they're swayed? Like, what is the benefit for the celebrity as well? And do you think the majority listen to what the celebrity is saying?
No, because I hate to say this, and I hate to say this, Chantel. I hate to say this. I hate to say this. I hate to say this. I probably knew that I was going to be conservative when I was about 13 or 14 years old because I had an independent mind thinker, and you couldn't just tell me anything. First of all, outside of success, and so this is what I'm getting ready to say. It's usually and this is just a saying, the Democrat plantation that pulls on celebrities, because that's all. Again, why would Beyonce? What could Beyonce tell me about politics? What could Samuel L. Jackson tell me about politics? I told you while we were backstage that you have to be able to distinguish who a person is. Are they a lover of their people, or are they a leader to their people? I'm sure Samuel Jackson loves his people. I'm sure Spike Lee loves his people. I'm sure Tyler Perry loves his people. But I don't necessarily know if I categorize them as leaders because they have not categorized themselves as leaders. Now, the one post that we played earlier on with the black gentleman that was talking, he's a leader. He's a thought leader. So again, I think, I'm not just going to be listening to you, whether Republican or Democrat, because you famous. I'm not going to, again, and I think the Democrat Party uses that as a ploy. Again, I think they use it, they use that. And for me, it's insulting because, before Diddy became the person on the hit list, Diddy had that vote or die. He was with the Democrat Party. He had the vote or die, and they were mobilizing folk to vote. And it's like, but what? And I think I shared this with you backstage as well. A lot of times they're so disconnected from reality, from the reality all the way at the bottom, because they've been rich for so long. Samuel Jackson been rich for so long. Tyler Perry been so rich for so long. Now, though they have stories when they grew up, we get that, we respect that. But what is it that what is it that they really could tell you about policy? And again, I listened to what Beyonce said on Friday for the 4 minutes that and again, that whole thing was a ploy because they kept saying she was going to perform, and she came there, talked about her upbringing in Houston or in Texas, and took about 4 minutes and then introduced Kamala Harris. So there's a disconnect.
What do you really think there's a disconnect? Because people can say, I mentioned this, but people can say, just because we're not on their level, people can say, okay, well, you're successful now. You disconnect from where you came from. I don't think there's necessarily always a disconnect. And I think the key to what you said is, are you a love for people, or are you just influencing people? Is there a love for people, or are you just leading them and telling them where to go? So I definitely feel like I can relate to where I come from, but that's because, again, the key word that you said is because some people have a love for people. So I think it's that part that really plays a part in, are you able to give me educated opinion that I can follow, that you can truly lead me?
So that's where it is. And Prophetess Michelle is knocking on our door. She says, so does the Republic. So yes. So the Republican Party does it a little bit different. At least in this cycle, the people that are coming to the forefront of the Republican Party, and you and I talked about this backstage, are business owners. They're individuals like Elon Musk, who, of course, took Tesla and turned Tesla into what it is, went to the space. So if I'm sitting and having a conversation, or Elon Musk is presenting to us saying, hey, I want to do this X, Y, Z. This is why I think you should vote for this party. I would be a little bit more accustomed to listening versus Beyonce just getting up on stage saying, vote for them because they care about Black people. No, she didn't say that.
Yeah, but I don't trust Elon Musk. Okay, you could say one party is not as, versed or educated on the topic, but the person that is, like Elon Musk, I mean, he cool, I like him, but I still feel like his motive is a little different. I feel like he gonna have us over here obeying the robots and doing what they say do. I'm a little nervous about him now.
well, of course, again, there's motive, and whether it's good, whether it's the right motive, I think there's always motive in everything that we do. Right. There's motive in me winning souls. So of course, Elon is going to want to, push his agenda, but I'm just simply saying that people like Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, individuals who are billionaires in tech and individuals who are billionaire in land, it does more for me. And I'm not being funny. It does more for me than looking at rappers say vote this way, because I'm like,
I feel like if they did the work to research and learn their craft or learn what they're telling us about, I feel like at the end of the day, don't be I hate to say it like this, a lazy vote.
Do me a favor, do you know Elon Musk? Yes. He endorsed me. By the way, he gave me the nicest endorsement too. The tougher. He said the country's going to fail. You should do the same thing, Joe, because you cannot be voting for Kamala.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the wildest, most compelling moments from former President Donald Trump's hotly anticipated appearance on Joe Rogan's smash hit podcast.
And every time I had to deal with a
there it came. I seen some of the comments as that flew. So someone says no one should follow Elon. Okay, thank you. I'd rather follow a person with good character. Elon does not have good character.
Did you hear? I like what Michonne said, because I don't know. I listened to his, I'm gonna say his autobiography, his upbringing, which was kind of demonic. Like the way he was brought up, his mom, and they were like some kind of, I'll say witches or something in that nature. But he was friends with the demons. Now that's what they said.
But here's my problem with that. Here's my problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my problem with that. Out of all the books that I got, again, they say, and he was a Democrat, because again, we don't want to make it Republican Democrat, but if we're gonna make it about that, Steve Jobs was a Democrat, and they say he was a prick. They say people prayed not to get on the elevator with Steve, and I get it. He had OCD. He was old. Mm-hmm. He was a driven man. We can look back and say, wow, maybe God, that innate thing in him, because God was going to take him at such a young age. But they say people did not want to get on the elevator with him, because if he asked you a question and you could not answer the question, that may be your backside. I mean, countless people said that. So when we start talking about good character, when we start talking about good, that's a matter of interpretation, because some people say Steve Jobs was horrible. He was mean. He was condescending. I probably wouldn't take it like that. I would just probably take it that he was passionate. He knew what he wanted to get done and how he wanted to get it done. Somebody else may say, so when we start talking about, again, but now would I go and sit and listen to the late Steve Jobs? Would I go and sit and listen to him talk about innovation? Mm-hmm. Probably so. All right, Tanya don't say something. They are aiming toward individuals who don't usually vote and mostly pay attention to rappers. And Tanya, I'm sending you out to eat. Yes, Tanya. Yes. Tanya's become Oh yeah. Look at that. That's why they were turking for votes. Yes, Tanya. Yes. I knew there was something that I felt when Tanya was here. Yes. Like that's right. So yeah, Chantel, answer that. Having people up on stage twerking and all of that. It's like, what does this have to do with policy?
But this is not policy. This is marketing. This is marketing, and they're marketing the younger generation because that's what sells, and that's what's bringing the vote in. At the end of the day, they're not for okay, you're just this certain party. They just want the vote. They just want the count. So however they got to use the rappers or influencers to get the count, that's what they're there for. Yes, Tanya said absolutely marketing.
And again, and so for me, it saddens me. Again, it's sad. And again, I'm not being biased because I like Boosie rapping, but I wouldn't care if Boosie came out on the stage and said vote for Trump. I'm like, okay.
But they already have your vote. Your vote, you in our generation. We're a little bit older. Our vote is solid. Like we may not switch around, but these young ones, they not selling to you. They know that you already where you at. They trying to get the younger people in,
which is sad. Again, which is sad to use Taylor Swift. How does that translate to better policy, better community? How does that translate to bring Taylor Swift before a crowd of people and Taylor Swift say vote for this? Again, I just think that we allow the wrong things to become the focal point. Tyler Perry preaching, maybe Spike Lee, and I know Tyler Perry employs people and all that kind of good stuff. Okay, fine, be it. But maybe Spike Lee, who's been in the struggle, who's written movies, Do the Right Thing, and who's Jungle Fever. I mean, I don't know if that was really, whatever. Okay, maybe Spike Lee, I may give him a little credence of almost listening to him. But right. Again, so many of them don't know, again, it's just not good enough to tell somebody.
So the blind lead the blind. You're not going to allow the blind to lead the blind.
And watch this. And now I know, the older I get and the more business I stand on, now I know, Chantel, why people who are always mad at Michael Jordan. He said, I ain't doing it. And he still ain't never did it. He said, I ain't doing it. He said, my vote is my vote. I'm not going to be responsible. When they used to try to get Michael Jordan to support individuals, he would say no. And guess what they did? They tried to assassinate him by saying he don't care about the Black community. The Black community is buying all his shoes. But now he understood the power and the weightiness of his voice, that I'm just like, salute to the brother now. I understand it from a different different vantage point now.
Right. But I like what, again, Tanya's still getting some good points. I want to mention this because you're talking about that in the Black community. They have to go to the rappers because that's who these young children are looking up to. But Tanya just made the standpoint that white Americans are taught to vote. That's like, this is so important. This is so good because they're taught to vote. So now I'm going to tell you, I was never taught to vote. That was nothing that I learned or whatever the case may be. And so then her second part is us folks, a lot of the times are not. So they're trying to pull them in. So yeah, they're trying to pull them in. They're using rappers and influencers to pull them in because they were never taught to vote. So my thing is, even if they're using rappers and influencers and they're bringing them in, I feel like the most important thing is if they're being taught. Why are you making this decision? Of course, that's why we have this platform to talk about it, to talk about what's the views of the Democratic Party and talk about the views of what's the views of the Republican Party, and then saying go educate yourself the more and make the decision that matters to you. And I'm going to stress that. I'm going to say it over and over again, to make the decision that is based off of you and what's going to benefit you and your family. And again, when I was younger and I didn't have much, the Democratic Party, they helped me. They gave me the earned income credit. I saved every dollar that I have to get to where I am. So it benefited me. But in my mind, some people stay stuck. And we just said that. Some people stay stuck right there. And in my mind, I wasn't going to stay stuck. I was going to take this advantage that they gave me and I was going to shake out of it and move on. And so then when you get to a different tax bracket, definitely the Republican Party is saying lesser taxes are more about business owners and beneficial for a different community. So again, you have to do what's best for you. And then at the end of the day, the kingdom of God win all day long, every day, because no matter who is in office, God can change the heart of man, and he gonna make sure that he get the last say. So y'all know this. I had to throw that in there. I'm sorry, you know me.
I knew you felt that preaching this comment. I knew it. I knew it was coming from somewhere. And again, I get it. I understand it. We're preachers. I just want people to vote their conscience, vote what's best for them. Don't vote because you're being bullied or swayed to vote one way. Again, I don't. All day long, all day strong, I let everyone know, hey, I'm a conservative. This is the reason why. And it's just, again, it's just a mindset. And I think that it's just a mindset,
It's a mindset. Pray about it. Allow God to lead you. And if it's a celebrity that you love and you love their mindset, and you know they have, I think Miss Copeland talked about character. If you feel like they have great character and you want to follow them, then follow them. Don't follow them because they can twerk, but follow them because it matters to what they're saying. Just like Arch said.
But wait, what might matter to them might not matter or should not matter to that person.
But it might. That's why I said you have to link and make sure that the things that matter to you are aligned with the person that you're following. I've had mentors that I never even met before, but my alignment with their values and the way they moved in their business aligned with mine. So that's why I was able to follow even from afar. So there's nothing wrong with following somebody that is smart or intelligent or is a great leader, has great character. But at the end of the day, you make your own decision. You pray about it, allow the Holy Spirit to lead you, and you make your own decision. But
Prophetess Michelle said something that was key. Can we play? I want to play this last video. I'm going to send it to you. I just want you to play it. I thought it was really good. She just said something that was really, really, really good. And maybe if I can get it, I might not be able to get it. I know we're over time, and I know that she says something. She says Trump is a celebrity. And so I think that it'll be good if you play this on our way out of here, Prophetess Chantel. If you can tell them to cue this up.
And while you're sending it over, they talking today. They got some good old points. Michonne Copeland said it again. I don't think there should be neither Democrats or Republicans. We should just all be Americans that love each other. See, she talking my language.
Amen. And listen, I'm for that. I would be for that. But unfortunately, it's not the reality that we live in.
Right.
I'm all for that. I am all for that. I thought that was interesting what Prophetess Michelle just said, and I seen that video today. Let's play that because she says Trump is a celebrity, and he is only a celebrity because we made him a celebrity. Okay,
hold on 1 second. All right, you guys, the last one we have for you guys. It takes a minute just to upload it, but give us a second. And while we're waiting for this video to upload, does anybody have any questions? Is it something that we can state to you to help you have gain more understanding of why we're talking about politics? And y'all know me, I don't get too much into politics. I don't get too much. I'm trying to upload it too. I don't get too much in politics, but I definitely feel like it's important to talk about it, to discuss it, to come at the round table, to help each other have a better understanding, help each other gain more wisdom and insight, and collaborate about the decisions that we are getting ready to make, as we literally have. How much more time do we have? Literally, oh my goodness. Is it 6 days away? Like we're literally,
yes. Next week this time.
Wow. 7 days. Exactly 7 days that it is time to vote. Vote.
Vote and live, not vote or die. Vote and live.
Vote and live. I know that's right. Vote and live. Amen.
Her churchy side coming out. She's saying amen. Y'all make sure y'all head over to our page on YouTube and make sure you subscribe to the channel. We need you to subscribe because we were only coming on live for just a brief time. Prophetess Michelle says I'm voting tomorrow. All right,
Prophetess Michelle. You guys, it's downloading. Archer throw something on us at the last minute to pop in and speak about it. So give us just a second. Prophet Michelle, he does that to you all the time in class. Play this video. All right, Miss Copeland. She said, I voted today. We got
today. Awesome.
Hey, yes. Yes. And even voting, it just goes back to the rights that we did not have. There was a time that people fought for our rights to be able to vote. We couldn't vote as African Americans. We couldn't vote as women. So, I mean, if you're doing it just to stand on your rights, you're doing something great. You're doing something amazing. So, congratulations to the people that did early voting, that's already voting, that's planning on taking the day off or taking the hour off to drive and commute to the, because it takes time too to say, I'm going to take this time to go do this. So kudos to you. Great job to you. Christina Stanley.
Oh, she said the earlier, let me see if we can get you stuck again, like on the other video where you were stuck. Are you giving everybody off at all of your centers?
No.
Oh, okay.
Your parents going to be dropping them kids off so they can go vote. We are giving a service, so we got to be present. But they can do early voting. They could go do their lunch hour.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes. Minister Dwayne said he is working it as we speak. Are you working for the voting?
Yeah, I do think he does work for the voting. Yeah. Again, everyone, follow us on YouTube at Kingdom Global Media 07. We do have a watch party next week. That's going to be absolutely awesome. It is taking so very long for this video to upload. We almost there?
It is almost there. But did you tell them about December 3rd? Did you remind everybody about December 3rd?
No, please remind everybody.
Yes, I reminded them today on my platform. December 3rd through the 6th, we will be in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Miami, Florida. You can fly into Miami if you want to, so you can be closer to the what's happening side. Y'all know Arch said I'm gonna put you on blast like you put me on blast. I'm gonna throw you under the bus because Arch said he wanted to be in Miami. He needed to be about what's happening in. He said Fort Lauderdale ain't as moving. He like to, what you say, people watch.
We like to people watch. My wife and I, we love to people watch, and we don't hit the club, so we hit the streets, and so absolutely, yes, it's going to be absolutely amazing. December 3rd through the 6th, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and we got that 7 M. At least I forget why they getting this video. We got merch, right? Hey, we got merch. We got merch. We got the Millionaire Circle we're going to be doing, and Prophetess Chantel is going to be facilitating the Millionaire Circle. We got the T-shirts, and let me move that way. We got the T-shirts that say Millionaire Circle, and it says it's a mindset, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. The Millionaire Circle. We got a session that's going to be dealing with couples who are married. We got prayer sessions, intercessory prayer, prophetic sessions. The conference is just going to be phenomenal.
Wait, can you tell them what's going down on, Mr. Dwayne said we was wrong. It's the 3rd to the 7th, but can you tell them what's going down on the 7th on that Friday? I mean, I don't know.
You mean the 6th?
Dwayne, he just said, I said the 6th, he said the 7th. Yeah, it is the 6th. Okay, I was right.
That was Prophetess Michelle and them talking about the 7th because I said, but no, it's really the 6th. The 6th is when it ends on Friday night, so yeah.
Okay, but can you tell them the turn up, what happens on Friday night? They need to know this. I told them early on my live.
Yes. Everybody, like, share, and tag. Those of you coming in, let me tell you what's going to happen on Friday. Friday is going to be Shoot Your Shot with Chantel. Friday is going to be Shoot Your Shot with Chantel. As B said, where my single ladies, where my single brothers at. On Friday is Shoot Your Shot with Chantel. Make sure your grill is right. Make sure your clothes are fresh and pressed. And it's going to be a time where you can shoot your shot with Chantel. You have about a minute and 30 seconds. All right, I'm just playing. That ain't what's happening. There is no shoot your shot. I'm sorry, brothers. There's no shoot your shot with Chantel at this trip soon. But on that Friday, it is going to be absolutely amazing. Prophetess Chantel is going to be affirmed and licensed as a minister. Let me say it again. All her friends, I'm looking to see all her friends, her family, her loved ones. And if you all are not there as her mentor, I'm going to tell her that y'all are really not her friends. Because if a friend can't come to your licensing service where you're going to be, she is going to be licensed as an official minister of the gospel of Jesus Christ. And let me tell you all this. Prophetess Chantel came into my wife and I life early part of this year. And it has been absolutely amazing since she has been a part of our life. And it's been nothing but fun, laughs, Cheesecake Factory, eating, traveling. And again, my wife is just as fun as she could be of somebody. And she loves Prophetess Chantel. I love Prophetess Chantel. Our family loves, our two puppies love her. Amen. My sons love her. Again, we just love Prophetess Chantel, and she's going to be licensed as a minister on that Friday. And Rose, we still have paper for you as well. We can keep the ink wet if you want to be licensed too. We believe it's a call on your life, Rose.
Yes.
Michelle says we love Prophetess Chantel. Absolutely. So all of her friends, loved ones, if you don't come but that one day and that one night, you need to be there in South Florida to support the woman of God. This is a time that will never happen again. And so we want to make sure that this time is big. Amen. And so now she got me saying church words. And so there again, she's well deserving of it. She's in ministry. She's been doing ministry without a title. And that's what it's all about, to do the work without the title. So when you get the title, you have already been doing the work. Mm-hmm. And from the very first day that I asked her to come on to a Zoom, and I was tired as one could be, and it was like a midnight prayer gathering. She took that Zoom and she prophesied to us about 1 o'clock in the morning. And when she got done, I said, she is definitely called to ministry. And she's serious about the things of God. She went to St. Louis. I'm just letting you all know she went to St. Louis and turned my mother church upside down on the Sunday. That Friday, she was very conservative and taught. But then on that Sunday, she came with a preach word and put her hands on her hip, let her backbone slip. And I mean, she got jazzy with it. And so we love her. We love her. We love her. We're going to be licensing her, my wife and I, on that Friday the 6th. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Yes. All right. Where we at?
Man, where Angie? Angie, I got him to edify me on this thing. I slid that in there real quick. You see how I slid that in there? She missed that. I'm going to have to let her see the replay on that part. But y'all, we got the video, last video, because it's time. I got to go back to work. So we're going to go ahead and play this last video that Arch wanted us to play. I didn't get to review it before. Usually he let me review his videos before.
That happened because Prophetess Chantel said that he is a celebrity, and he is, and he has always been.
That's Prophetess Michelle. You said
loved him.
Cock-a-doodle-doo, folks. I'm Donald Trump, and there's two things in the world I love: a good deal and a good meal. So when I drove by a defunct Meineke muffler shop in Englewood, New Jersey, I knew what I had to do. I had to buy it on the cheap and convert it into a restaurant specializing in buffalo chicken wings. So I did. And it's the most important thing I've ever done in my entire life. So please join me at Donald Trump's House of Wings.
Trump, you know our wings will make you happy. Trumpy, you know our wings will fill you up. Trump, if you want a place with awesome chicken wings, yeah, Donald Trump's House of Wings.
He was made for TV. They loved him 20 years ago, having nothing to do with politics. The moment you get into politics, you're an evil man, just purely because you have political opinions.
And when Prophetess Michelle said that, I thought about that. And one of the lessons that could be learned there again, everybody did love him. Everybody took pictures with him. Everybody wanted to be him. Everybody wanted to emulate him. People wanted his wealth. But again, once he got into politics, he became public enemy number one. So we need to keep that in mind, that people will turn on you. And we see it all throughout the Bible. And of course, with one of the most powerful men that ever walked the earth, Jesus, that they loved him one day and then they said crucify him the next day. And so there again, I see you, Prophetess Michelle, but the rappers and the boxers and the black community and Jesse Jackson and Reverend Al Sharpton, all of those people went to him, took pictures with him, wanted to be around them. So, all right, that's all I had.
All right, you guys. Well, we will see you guys at the block party next Tuesday.
Yeah. Did you say block party?
Yeah, I was just joking.
Okay. All right. Yes. All right. We'll see y'all at the block party. All right. All right. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. So I'm done.
All right, you guys. Well, we are off. Thank you so much for joining us for these last couple hours of your time, because time is money. So thank you for spending time. We hope that you find value in what we're giving to you and offering to you. So see you next time.